what the school teach you about money.
Okay.
And look, I grew up in a family of PhDs. So they're highly educated poor people. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. And that's why I talk about my father running for lieutenant governor. And he lost. He ran against the governor. The governor fired him and said, "You'll never work in this state again." So I'm in college at the time, at the academy, and my poor dad is now broke. PhD didn't help him. And so I'll ask everybody this question is, again, what did school teach you about money? Answer is nothing. That's not a mistake, Vlad. It's part of the Communist Manifesto. And that's why I said earlier, if you read Marx's book, the Communist Manifesto, it's only 50 pages. You'll find out, though, the first thing is that there was, and this is 1848, Marx says, communism would invade America in 2 stages. Stage 1 happened in 1930s, my opinion, because he was already dead by 1930. It's happened when Columbia University's Teachers College invited in Marxist teachers from Germany. And then I believe, it's my opinion, and I'll take the heat for this. It happened in 2020 when my friend Donald Trump loses re-election to this guy, where in the world is Joe Biden. I think Biden's one of the biggest criminals we've ever had, the Biden crime family. And I don't say I'm not talking about what he says, what is he doing? I have a tanker's officer's degree from Kings Point. I understand oil. So 2020, the moment he got elected, the first thing Biden did was cut down the Keystone XL pipeline, which sent oil price. I sell oil. I own oil wells. It's a good investment. So I was selling oil in 2020 at $30 a barrel. It went to $130 a barrel within a week. And immediately I knew what he was doing. He was crushing the middle class. They need to wipe out the middle class, Vlad. And that's what Marx said also. So when the middle class is toast, all you have is 2 classes of people, rich and poor. And our civilizations run on oil. Could you imagine if you didn't have electricity or this and all that? Energy is what drives our civilization. And the first thing that son of a bitch Biden did was cut off our oil. And then guess what? He cuts us out of Afghanistan. And when that happens, Saudi Arabia, just look at the facts, not what the guy is saying. When he pulled us out of Afghanistan, so many people got wiped out. We left $9 billion there or something. And immediately Saudi Arabia, guess who they joined? They joined Russia. So now our price of oil going is up. And then Biden tries to buy oil from Venezuela. Watch what he does, not what he says. Number one thing I learned in the military school, the academy, what's your mission in life? If it's just to make money, why don't you just go be a hooker or something, sell drugs? But I really sincerely, naively maybe, I believe you have a mission, I have a mission, everybody listening has a mission. What does God want you to do? So that's what I'm saying is when I met Buckminster Fuller, his question is, what does God want you to do? And the reason a lot of people don't do it is because they don't know how to make money at it. Does that make sense to you? So they just keep working for somebody, or they keep doing what they do, or but they don't ask themselves, what does God want you to do? So when I met Fuller, I said, I think I should teach money. And that was kind of I didn't start doing it immediately, but that's when I started to teach and all this stuff. I started practicing. And a lot of times I worked for free for years, just trying to figure it out. But that's what they teach in the Marine Corps. Your mission is more important than the money. So, and that's when I said, oh my God. That's what my rich dad taught me, asset versus liability. Your house is not an asset. But I didn't know it wasn't so obvious to me at the time. And the trouble with, if you do a mission and you cheat, lie, and steal, like a lot of my CFOs and CEOs did, they didn't get my mission. Their mission was to take my money. And so I think, Vlad, I think you right now are operating pretty close to your mission. I don't know, because not God. But if things are working well for you, you're probably even when things are bad, you're still on your mission, you know what I mean? But the question is, what does God want done? That's the question. But I flunked out of high school because I couldn't write. And it wasn't because I couldn't write. It's because the teacher didn't like what I was writing. But I was just doing what Bucky Fuller said. He says, what does God want done? And it was that the editor in New York for Simon & Schuster says, when you tell me what you know, you'll have a bestseller. So I was close with, if you're on Rich and Happy, don't go to school. But that question, tell me what you know. And I think that's a good question for everybody listening to your program, Vlad. What do you know? What do you know that maybe schools don't recognize? Do you know what I mean? What sits inside your soul and say, I need to talk about this, I need to do this, I need to do that. Now let me show you something. This is Publishers Weekly. It's this month, 2023, February. Publishers Weekly is the Bible. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, #1. 25 years, Vlad.
I know.
25 years. I wish my English teacher was alive. I'd rub it in his face. 25 years, still #1. That's impossible. All over the world.
Yeah.
And I still can't write. I mean, I flunked out of high school because I can't write. It's not that I couldn't write. The teacher didn't like what I was writing. A lot of people do it. They volunteer for social work or volunteer work and all this. It's what would you do for free forever? Do you know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. I would do this with you forever. I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was thinking, I said, who else is doing the same kind of work I'm doing? In other words, you and I are not alone, right? So who else can I support? So you're supporting me, I'll support you. And I was very much against network marketing. The pyramid scheme, all the things they say about it. So my friend told me to shape up and shut my mouth and go check them out. So when I checked out network marketing, I said, oh my God, they're doing what my rich dad told me to do, is learn how to sell. And you see, the hardest thing in life, Vlad, is rejection. How do you handle when somebody rejects you? So I went to an Amway meeting and I sat there going, oh my God, they're teaching people what Xerox was teaching me. How do you handle rejection? How do you keep your cool? How do you keep pitching? So in my little book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I put an asset is a network marketing. It's assets, liabilities. I said, you build a network marketing business, it's an asset. So when I published Rich Dad, Poor Dad, nobody would buy the damn book. And so I put it in my friend's car wash in Austin, Texas. And guess who bought the first book? An Amway distributor. and he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he's still a good friend of mine. And he bought the book, and he says, oh my God, he read the book, and he sent it up to his upline in Dallas. He bought it in Austin, he sent it to Dallas, and the diamond in Dallas called me up, and he says, pretty good book you got there. And he says, would you mind speaking to my group? So again, it was because I was supporting people doing the same work. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And so I started teaching at Amway conventions. And guess what? The book went to bestseller list. And then Oprah found it, then Trump found it. And it was because I was just supporting people in the same kind of mindset, should I say. But it goes back to, if you can sell, you're better off if you can't sell. Today, I'm 76 this year, and I meet young people come up to me and says, my dad gave me your book, my grandfather gave me your book. And you know what? That's better than all the money in the world, lad. It's worth more than all the money in the world.